everybody. Today I'm going to show you how to make a half square triangle quilt block. Behind me is a quilt that I made recently using 40 of the quilt blocks. And they each start out measuring 9 inches and finish in the quilt at 8.5 inches because of the 1/4 inch seam allowances. Now there's many techniques that you can use to make this quilt block, but I'm going to show you my very favorite, and it actually makes 2 blocks at a time. So let's get started. Okay, so the fabric I'm going to use today to show you how to make this block is a Windham fabric, and it's called Wonder by Carrie Bloomston. And this is a fat quarter packet that I got from Quilty Box back in 2018, and I decided it's about time I should use it. And so I picked out 2 colors, a pink and a blue, so there will be some contrast. And the first thing you're going to need to do is cut 2 10-inch square blocks to make the 9-inch block. So I have those cut out at 10 inches, so flip it over the lighter colored block onto the wrong side, and I'm going to draw a line from corner to corner, and that'll be my cutting line. And I'm using a quilting pen with disappearing ink, but the ink will not show anyway, so you could just use a regular pen if you want to. So I'm just gonna go from corner to corner. Okay. So now I'm going to place the blocks right sides together. And I'm going to pin them. Now I'm going to take it to the sewing machine, and I'm going to sew a 1/4 inch seam on either side of the line that I've just drawn. So I'll meet you at the sewing machine. Okay, so I've got my 1/4 inch presser foot, and I have a little lead fabric here so the thread does not bunch up on the back of my block. And again, I'm going to sew a 1/4 inch on this side, and then I'm going to turn around and sew a 1/4 inch on the other side. So here we go. Okay, so I've sewn a 1/4 inch seam on either side of the line that I drew. So I'm going to remove my pins. And now I'm going to cut on the cutting line to make 2 blocks. And you can see down here that the blocks were not completely lined up, but that's okay because we're going to trim down anyway, so that'll be taken care of. Better if I stand up. Now you have your 2 blocks, and I'm going to take them over to the iron and press them. Okay, so I have my block, and I have the darker fabric on top. I'm just going to press the seam to set it. Then I'm going to open up the block, and I'm going to press toward the dark, and I'm actually going to use a little bit of spray starch. I'm using Mary Ellen's Best Press. Since I'm going to be trimming this block, I don't want it to stretch out too much as I'm trimming it, so the spray starch helps that. Okay, that looks good, so I'm going to take it over and I'm going to square it up. Okay, so here's my block, and it currently measures as is about 9.5 inches, and I want to trim it down and square it up to 9 inches. So I'm going to use this ruler from Quilt in a Day. It's made specifically to square up quilt blocks, and it has this diagonal line here, and I'm going to match that up to the diagonal seam. And since I want it to be 9 inches, I just make sure that I have fabric over 9 inches on each side. And I do. Line it up the best I can. And I'm gonna trim this side and this side, and I just make a note that I have the darker fabric in the right-hand corner. Okay, that looks pretty good. Oops, it's a little hard. It's a little awkward to trim the top. There we go. Now I'm going to flip it around so the lighter color is down in the right-hand corner. I'm going to line it up again, and this time I'm going to line it up exactly on this side on the 9-inch line. The best I can. That looks good. That looks good. Okay, I'm going to trim these two sides. Okay, now I have a perfectly square 9-inch quilt block. So here's the finished half-square triangle block, and I made a couple extra to show you how you can arrange them in different patterns. And again, these are 9 inches square. If you want to make them smaller, just start with 2 pieces of fabric that are 1 inch larger than what you want your square to be. So we started with 10-inch squares and we came down to 9-inch finished block. And you can use this block to make all kinds of cool patterns. You can put them on point. That is really cute. You can do stripes like this, and just play around with them, and they're a lot of fun, and I hope you enjoyed this tutorial, and I will see you next time.